Coming up on the Elon Phoenix Weekly.
We bring you basketball, and some more basketball as we talk with Coach Matheny about the road to a North Division title.
Admire the fresh ink in both the Elon and SoCon record books and examine the anatomy of Elon's biggest regular season matchup.
All that and more next on the Elon Phoenix Weekly.
Good morning and welcome to the first Elon Phoenix Weekly of 2013. I'm Kimberly Wisniewski.
And I'm Joe DiRienzo. Thanks for joining us on your ESPN2 local sports break. 4 years ago, Elon hired Matt Matheny to guide the men's basketball team to success.
And year after year, the team has improved, making Elon one of the most formidable teams in the Southern Conference. And this year, the North Division champions.
The Elon men's basketball team came into the season with high expectations. They finished the 2011-2012 season with a 15-16 record, but with 4 starters returning, the team was in a position to be very competitive.
Our leadership has been a major factor in the success that we've had. Our veterans, our juniors, our seniors have taken ownership of this team, and that's led to a lot of our improvement.
Go, fight on 3, 1, 2, 3, fight!
Got a bunch of veteran guys who have been in Coach Matheny's system and have played in this league for a few years now. So we know what it's like to play against the other teams in our conference and what it takes to win and edge out those victories.
But winning isn't automatic and it doesn't come easy. The hours spent off the court can sometimes be more important than the ones between buzzers.
What's great about our leadership is they understand all phases of a year. They understand the conference tournament and what that means. They understand what the regular season means. They also understand what it means to work in the spring, to work in the summer. So they understand that they are expected to improve themselves as best they can.
All the guys really work hard individually on getting stronger, quicker, working on individual moves, working on developing our own game in the summer so then we can transition and take that and become a team. Guys are more motivated to do things like win the North Division, win the conference championship, go to the NCAA tournament.
And they can cross one of those off their list. The Phoenix won the Southern Conference North Division on February 21st with a 63-62 victory over Samford, making this the first time Elon has won the title since the 2005-2006 season.
Winning the North Division was a goal, and we're happy to have accomplished the championship of the North Division. But during the Samford game, I did not spend a second thinking about, man, we could really clinch if we win this game. I think it was really special that we were able to clinch that game and the North Division on a defensive stop. To win the game by 1 point, we stopped them at the buzzer, and that was a great way to clinch.
Winning the SoCon North isn't the only accomplishment the Phoenix have achieved. 20 wins is the unofficial benchmark of college basketball success, according to Matheny. And for only the 15th time in school history, and the first time since the 1987-1988 season, they reached that mark in their final game against the University of North Carolina, Greensboro. For Matheny, it's a sign that the program is growing.
It is special. I remember 4 years ago when our staff first got here and we finished the season with 20-plus losses. So in 4 years to be able to turn that around, to get the 20th win, to do it in front of just an exciting, energetic, full house. The student body is now coming out to support us. It's really, really special.
It's exciting that, reaching that 20-game win mark is huge for us, and I think it shows that our program is heading in the right direction.
The team will be in good shape to defend that title next year, as the Phoenix will be returning all 5 of its starters.
However, it's not just the men's team. The women have put together another winning season, and as a result, the energy in Alumni Gym is unlike it has been for years.
We have really developed a great home court advantage and a great college basketball atmosphere.
The last couple of games towards the end of the season, there was great energy in the building. It was energy, it was electrifying, the fans was in it, and I think, you know, when you have that sixth man behind you, it's an extra force that propels you to victory.
To me, it was pandemonium, and that's what it's been the last several games. It's been pandemonium, and I mean that in a very good way. Our students are coming out. They were lined up outside the student entrance for the Davidson game and for the North Carolina-Greensboro game, our last two home games. And not only were they lined up, but when they got here, they were loud, they were energetic, they were engaged.
It's something for everybody, you know, and I get a lot of energy from the fans, and I appreciate the fans. And, you know, the last game that we had here against Davidson, I mean, the crowd was absolutely tremendous. And, you know, I get fired up. I still feel like I'm a player sometimes out there on the sideline. And, you know, I remember one game, me and Nicole Razor, we just looked at each other, and it was almost like instinct, and we run to each other and we chest bump. So, you know, the energy from the fans, it definitely brings energy on the sidelines as well.
What's cool about Alumni Gym is that the fans are right on top of it. And we get used to that because we play a lot of home games here. But the road teams don't get used to that. It's different for them. And they absolutely make a difference in terms of winning and losing close games in particular. I think back to the Appalachian State game here when we were a little short-handed due to some injuries. And I think about how loud it got down the stretch, and I think about the energy that it gave to our players who had played a ton of minutes. It made a difference. The fans make a difference in our success here at home.
Not only do both coaches recognize what an influence the crowd can be on the game, but they each remember one game in particular where they believe it was the difference maker.
It was the UT Chat game here. The crowd was tremendous. The game goes into overtime. And it was just a great win for the senior class.
There was a moment for me that really was very, very special in terms of the crowds in Alumni Gym, and that was when we were playing Western Carolina in late February here, and the game was going to go into overtime. I remember walking out from the bench when the regulation ended and looking around and seeing a full house, not a space at all in the arena. And it was as loud as I've ever heard it.
Even though the atmosphere in Alumni Gym is expanding, both coaches know there is still room to continue growing in the future.
Well, we're hoping to have a sellout crowd. That's our goal, you know, because we can have 400 people in the stands and the building be electrifying. I can only imagine what it would be like with a sold-out crowd, so that's definitely our goal.
What I'd love is for our November and December home games to be sold out. And we sold out 7 of our last 8. Our January, February crowds were sensational. Our early season crowds were good, but I want to see our November games, our December games sold out. I want this to be the toughest ticket in town.
Over this past season, the atmosphere has grown immensely inside Alumni Gym. But that is just one part of the growing family that is Elon Phoenix Athletics.
We've done a great job in terms of supporting one another. And as far as our program is concerned, we try to keep it a family and friendly atmosphere, and we're out and engaged with the fans after the game. So, you know, I just think we have to just continue doing what we're doing and win basketball games.
What I love is the student section, because it's right across from our bench. And I like to see them having fun. I like to see them standing up during live action. I like to see them going crazy when Lucas gets a dunk or Jack gets a 3 or when we make an exciting play. And then another neat thing for me is when the game's over, our players go around and shake hands with basically the student body and all the fans that can make it down to the court. That's really a special relationship between our players and the students and the community that come to the games.
Though there are no more games in Alumni Gym this year, be sure to come out and give other Elon venues the same energy and support.
And that brings us to today's trivia. Do you know the last time the men's basketball team reached the 20-win mark? The answer to that coming up later.
We have to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we look at two impressive individual marks set by the point guards on both the men's and women's teams.
And later, we take you inside the regular season matchup between Elon and Davidson.
As we go to break, take a look at the upcoming baseball and softball schedules.
We'll be right back to the Elon Phoenix Weekly on ESPN2. There are currently over 350 Elon student athletes competing in 16 NCAA Division I sports.
Scholarships enable us to succeed not only on the field,
but also in the classroom.
It helps us in achieving our commitment.
To live the maroon life.
Your gifts have the power to take Phoenix athletics to even greater heights while giving student athletes an outstanding education.
An Elon education is about preparing students for a life of global citizenship. Of course, this is a place where you're going to come and earn a degree, but it's also a place that's going to get you to think very deeply about how you're going to use that degree to make the world a better place.
You're watching the Elon Phoenix Weekly on ESPN2.
The Elon Phoenix Weekly is made possible by the students of the School of Communications in association with the dedicated coaches, athletes, and staff of Elon Athletics.
Team success always comes first, but it is always important to recognize the individual efforts of each and every player. This year, men's basketball point guard Jack Eisenbarger reached the coveted mark of 1,000 points.
It was never really a goal of mine. It wasn't a landmark I ever thought about until maybe a few days before when I started getting like texts and phone calls. Stats is never something I'm really, concerned about. It's more win-loss. How's the program doing? How is the team doing? So if I can contribute in scoring, in assists and passing, in just being a leader on the court in general, I'm going to do whatever I can. And so I've been fortunate to play with great players, great point guards like Chris Long, Josh Bonney, and Austin Hamilton, who are great distributors. So being one of the many shooters we have on the team, naturally you're going to score points.
He's a great kid. I'd love for my son to grow up and be like Jack Eisenbarger. And really, we have great guys on our team. We very rarely, if ever, talk about individual honors. It's neat that he scored 1,000 points, that he's an all-conference player. Jack's doing a great job assuming the point guard position, and he's really getting us as a team into our motion offense. He also sets the defense by pressuring the other team's point guard. So he's really improved as a defender during his career here.
Shooting the three is always fun, but it starts with the fundamentals. Just putting in time at the gym, being a gym rat when I was a little kid, which is something I've had to do because I'm never the most athletic guy on the court. I'm not the biggest or strongest or quickest guy. So being able to shoot is really one of my only weapons, I guess. So I guess I've tried to take advantage of that.
1,000 points is a lot of points, and They will now be in the record books of Elon. There's only a handful of players that have done that in their career here, and it's quite an accomplishment. What's neat for me as a coach is that I get the chance to recruit those guys and see them play for their high school teams. And you see when they're 17, 18 years old, and you know their dreams and you know what they hope for. And then you see them come in as freshmen. They had an opportunity to play right away, which was really good for them. You see their growth through their sophomore year. And now you see them as juniors, and they're no longer high school players. They're college players, and they're men now. And it's neat for me to see their growth from their high school days up until the point they are right now.
Jack was also recognized for his success this season as he was named to the All-Southern Conference squad.
Jack's counterpart for the women's basketball team, Allie Ford, will go down as not only one of the greatest players in Elon history, but as the greatest three-point shooter in the history of the Southern Conference.
One single curved black line, 3 inches across. It can be the difference between a narrow loss or a joyous victory. And shooting from behind that curved black line is what one Elon guard is now in the SoCon record book for.
Because, I definitely remember going into that game thinking that I had, 2 3-pointers left. I wouldn't say it was something that was on the front of my mind, but when it went in, it was kind of like a relief.
Ford was sitting at 315 career 3-pointers coming into the game, 2 away from breaking the SoCon record set by former Chattanooga star Brooke Hand in 2005.
That's one of the main things, one of the biggest things that I'm, proud and proud to say that the SoCon 3-point record is now at Elon.
And Ford is quick to recognize the importance of this record, not only for her.
It was a milestone for me that, my name's going to be next to it, but I think it's even more important that we bring that attention and that SoCon record, not just like an Elon record, but bring that attention to Elon.
This record has been a long time in the making, dating back to when Ford developed her 3-point touch in Morgantown, North Carolina.
How hard work pays off, and how when people put you in spots to succeed, it's up to you to take it and just make it your own.
Even with the SoCon record, Ford is quick to pass on the personal records when it comes to identifying what she'll remember the most when her time here at Elon is over.
Definitely the things that stand out are more like team accomplishments, or great games that we've played here, just the atmosphere of Alumni Gym.
And there are still areas of Ford's game that she wants to improve on.
I'm leading the SoCon in made 3-pointers, but I'm definitely leading them in attempts, so I have no problem shooting them, but a lot of the times I kind of find myself having to step back and refocus and think about, well, what if I pump faked here and got an easier shot? Maybe not rely so much on the 3, or maybe focus a different part of your game.
Getting back to the SoCon record, though, it is not something that Ford will soon forget.
Definitely looking back on the 3-point record is definitely going to be one of my more great moments and more easily looked back upon memories.
But there's still some unfinished business Ford has left on her mind.
I'd want to be remembered as a SoCon champion, and I have one more chance to do this here in March. If that doesn't happen, I want to be remembered as someone who, is a hard worker and who is reliable. I don't really be remembered by the points or the stats or even the records. I always go back to the quote that people aren't always going to remember exactly what you said to them, but they're always going to remember how you made them feel.
Allie earned honors from both the SoCon coaches and the media, as she was named to the first team All-SoCon.
We have to take another break, but don't go anywhere, because when we return, we examine the regular season matchup between Elon and the South Division champs.
As we go to break, check out more Elon sporting events coming up this week.
You're watching the Elon Phoenix Weekly on ESPN2.
What is living the maroon life? It's more than just the hustle and the sweat. It's more than just the pain and the frustration. It's more than just the triumph and the glory. The maroon life is you. Yes, you. You, the athlete, striving to be at your best day in and day out. You, the alumni who have been in the stands supporting Elon for years. You, the fans who stream into games hours before kickoff. And you, the little ones who will be the next generation of Phoenix fans. You are what drives Elon Athletics, and you are the reason we do what we do. There is so much history and tradition behind our maroon. Conference titles, All-American, and national championships. But there is so much history and tradition yet to be made. So join us. Live the maroon life.
We'll be right back to the Elon Phoenix Weekly on ESPN2. Through their daily pursuit of excellence, Elon student athletes have gained recognition for their achievements both on and off the field.
Building a winning tradition takes hard work and dedication.
Dedication to the maroon life.
Where success is not only measured by just wins and trophies,
but also by the knowledge we gain.
At Elon, we're more than just athletes.
We're student athletes.
Providing support enables success. Help sustain the winning tradition of Elon Athletics while securing the future of our student athletes for years to come. And now back to the Elon Phoenix Weekly on ESPN2.
Welcome back to the Elon Phoenix Weekly on your ESPN2 local sports break.
Earlier in the show, we asked, when was the last time the men's basketball team won 20 games? The answer? The 1987-88 season. The second year in a row, the Fighting Christians reached that mark under Coach Bob Burton.
Every year, there is a game that is a little bit bigger than the rest. This year, it came on February 27th as North Division champion Elon faced South Division champion Davidson, which is the focus of this week's Anatomy of the Game.
Fans lined up outside of Alumni Gym waiting to see Elon take on Davidson, setting a new attendance record. But what makes this rivalry so exciting?
Well, Davidson's had a lot of success, and because they've had so much success, they carry the flag for the Southern Conference a lot. And anytime you get an opportunity to play against the flag bearer, you want to play it as best you can.
You know, there's always pride on the line. Davidson has always had a target on their back. Anytime you have the top teams playing, you're going to get a great matchup. You're going to get a lot of intensity, and you're usually going to get a great game, which is a close game.
And you can feel the intensity building even before the opening tip. Chris Zarapovic scored the first points of the game for Davidson from behind the arc, but Jack Eisenbarger quickly retaliated with an old-fashioned three-point play, the start of what would be a very physical game.
It's a rivalry game, and whether it's Duke, North Carolina, or an NBA game, or in high school, if there's a big rivalry, guys are going to be a little bit more intense, a little bit more shovey, and there's more riding on the line.
Well, they're a physical team. We aspire to be a physical team, and I think both teams do it in the right way. They're not dirty, we're not dirty, but college basketball is a physical game.
Davidson led by as many as 9 in the first half, but Elon took a 28-27 lead after Tanner Sampson drained a corner three and went into the half with momentum and a 34-31 lead. Even with a 3-point lead, Coach Matheny and the team knew going into halftime they could not get complacent, as there was still a whole 20 minutes of basketball to play.
We were happy at halftime that we battled back and played pretty well in the last 8 minutes of the first half. But our players have a great understanding of 40 minutes, 2 halves, and so the halftime discussion was very much good job so far, let's get better.
When the second half began, the atmosphere in Alumni Gym went from loud to deafening, and the added support didn't go unnoticed by the team.
Being a guy who's been here for 3 years, I have more of an appreciation for fans coming out to the games and showing more and more support. It means so much more to me. I think the older guys who have seen, a gym that, gets maybe halfway filled up or 3/4 of the way, but now sold out arena, people standing up here in the rafters, it seems like. We have a great appreciation for that, and we love the energy that they give us during the game.
And that excitement carried over into the game action. In the second half alone, there were 7 lead changes, with almost the entire 20 minutes spent with each team within 1 basket of one another. Elon stood in the game largely thanks to Lucas Troutman, who scored 9 of his 11 points in the second half, despite not being completely healthy.
I love his toughness, and he has not been 100% down the stretch, but I know he wanted to play, and he would have played every minute we would have allowed him to play. And I think that's really been an improvement for Lucas through his career here. He has really, already being tough, gotten tougher. And he showed that with his ability to play through a little bit of pain with his ankle injury.
Even with Troutman's hard work down low, miscues by Elon kept them behind late in the game.
When I think of the Davidson game, I think back to a lot of mistakes we made on defense and things that were in our control that we can fix.
Despite those miscues, Davidson uncharacteristically missed a lot of free throws down the stretch, and Elon came within 2 after Jack Eisenbarger made a pair of clutch 3-pointers in the last 30 seconds of the game. Elon had one last shot to tie the game but couldn't come up with a rebound on a missed free throw with 12 seconds left, and Davidson ended up winning the game 69-63.
You got to give Davidson credit. They played a great game versus us, and they have a lot of talent. But at the same time, we know there's mistakes that we made that we can change to get a victory.
I thought we played competitively tough for 40 minutes, and it didn't work out. We didn't get the victory, but competitive toughness is a big factor regardless of who you're playing. And that's something that we talked to our team quite a bit about after the game, that for 40 minutes we were competitively tough. Let's do that again, and let's correct the mistakes that we made.
Well, that's our show for today. If you missed anything or want to watch it again, be sure to check us out on YouTube at youtube.com/ElonPhoenixWeekly.
Also, be sure to visit elonphoenix.com, your #1 source for all the maroon and gold buzz.
On behalf of our producers and crew here at the show, we hope you continue to have a spectacular weekend.
For the Elon Phoenix Weekly, I'm Kimberly Wisniewski.
And I'm Joe DiRienzo. Thanks for watching.